there. So we are down to the final 8 in the Players' Championship with Zhao Guodong and John Higgins clinching the last spots in the quarter-finals. There's the confirmed lineup with some heavyweight clashes to look forward to over the next few days. So much to look forward to. We've had a quick change. You can see the crowd from this afternoon have gone out. They've come back in, a new crowd. And a quick change in the studio. Neil Foulds and Alec McManus have been shuffled in. Listen, what a lineup, what a lineup. We keep talking about the world champions in that draw. Mouth-watering clashes, top to bottom.
It sure is, you know, John being the last one at the very death there, getting the job done eventually. Credit to him, you know, he'll be really pleased with his you know, coming through. Performance, he can improve, but the key thing is he's still here, and I'm sure he will do in the next round.
Yeah, it's interesting because you've got seedings instead of rankings for this event because it's the seedings on the one-year list, and the only seed that was not the highest was Barry Hawkins was 8 and Sean Murphy was 9, and Murphy won that. As far as the others, it's all to seeding, to ranking, so all the big hitters won, all the favourites have won in that first group of matches.
All brought their A-game to Telford, haven't they just? OK, we kick off the quarterfinals tonight with a matchup of real class. The current world champion, Kyren Wilson, against 3-time Crucible winner and man from the class of '92, Mark Williams. Let's hear from them both. They've been speaking to Abigail Davis.
Mark, back in the quarter-finals of the Players' Championship, your last ever game before the big 5-0. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I said, I'm 50 in 2 days' time and I'm playing the world champion on the main stage of one of the biggest tournaments we play in, a massive TV event. It was unbelievable, really. The result is irrelevant, but it's unbelievable to still be here, you know, having the chance to beat the world champion, so I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it is all about embracing it now, isn't it? What do you put the longevity down to?
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm a better player than I give myself credit for. Possibly is the main reason, I think, maybe. I don't know, just will determination and just try your best. And like I say, I don't know how, but I'm still sort of playing okay at this grand old age.
There's a certain aura about you now. Do you feel that the way you walk around the table, everything's different?
Yeah, I feel like I'm better to watch. I'd like to think I give the crowd a lot more value for money nowadays, and you know, I feel that, you know, the modern era of snooker, it does need to be played at a quicker pace and sort of more fast, free-flowing snooker. You know, and if you can't do that, there's the young talent that's going to come through that are going to blow you away.
How do you see this one against Kyren? How much of a chance are you giving yourself in this one?
A little chance, you know. If I can play well, I've got a chance. But you know, he's the world champion for a reason. Him and Judd are the best players in the world by far. You know, I've beat Judd and Kyren this year already, which is unbelievable, really. You know, the old fellas, me and John, we're still plugging on and giving the youngsters. Well, they're not so much young anymore. They're 35 and they're 30, 31, something. So. The years don't half goes quicker the older you get, but I'm just absolutely over the moon that I'm still competing. That's all I can say, really.
Absolutely take my hat off to Mark. I think his longevity, the way he's gone about it, has been so sort of, you know, colourful, if you like, in his character. I don't know if colourful is the right word to explain Mark Williams, but, you know, having a kebab during a World Championship final, going on to win it, you know, what a lad. And I feel like we're similar. You know, he's got a young family as well, obviously with his wife Jo, with me and Sophie and my kids. So I definitely look up to him and, yeah, try and emulate that.
He is a performer, isn't he, Mark? He talks about, Mark, about his will and determination. But he also, I think, now seems to be enjoying himself as well. He doesn't spend a lot of time in the practice room, but he does seem to enjoy when he comes to the tournaments.
And he's earned that right over the last 25, 30 years. And he should do, like John and let's hope O'Sullivan does as well in the fullness of time. But he's right about one thing as well. He is a better player than he gives himself credit for. I've always thought that about Mark Williams. But the self-deprecating nature that he has is actually not a bad thing. John's similar. Ronnie doesn't often big himself up. And that's part of the reason added to the talent that we know they have, why they've been at the top of the game for
yeah,
so
and
long.
Also, you know, he's got a good life, hasn't he, Mark? You know, Joe, his wife, is lovely. His kids are playing snooker growing up. You know, he's done well out of the game. And I think he appreciates all those things. And he's coming up 50. We all know about that. It's a couple of days. But it's more that he's been in this game all these years. And you feel that if he loses, well, OK, I've lost. Go away and enjoy my life, go to Turkey and play golf, whatever he's doing. You know, so he's got it all boxes covered, really.
Just one other thing. If he wins tonight, he will play on Friday, his 50th birthday, so... You know, you never know.
And he says he's got a wee chance there. But he is playing against Kyren Wilson, Neil, and Kyren looked in cracking form this week. He really did against Mark Allen.
Absolutely. You know, funnily enough, he's had a really good record against Mark Williams, except the last time they played, he was 7-0, and then Mark did for him in the Champion of Champions. But, yeah, I think he enjoys playing Mark, but certainly Kyren he's just keeping on playing well. I know he had a little dip in form, but not much of a dip. You know, he's here again. He's had a terrific year as champion. Not many players over the years can boast, as first-time world champion, the kind of season he's had.
Great stuff. We're going to get the snooker back underway here. My goodness me, so much snooker to enjoy in Telford today. We kick off the quarter-finals of the Players' Championship with Kyren Wilson against Mark Williams. Don't go anywhere. In the opening round of the Players' Championship, world champion Kyren Wilson showed his pedigree, comfortably dispatching last year's winner, Mark Allen. Tonight, for a spot in the semi-final, he faces Hall of Famer Mark Williams. And they're no strangers to one another. This is their 7th quarter-final meeting. Kyren is dominant in the head-to-head, but Williams' solitary victory came this season at the Champion of Champions, en route to lifting the trophy. OK, let's get the action underway. Ready to go in the commentary box are Ken Doherty and Phil Yates. But first, to introduce the players, here's our MC, Tahir Hajat.
Well, here we go. Good evening and welcome to the Telford International Centre. Watching all around the world, you are tuned in to the sportsbet.io Players' Championship. Round 1 done and dusted. 7 world champions in the quarterfinals, so let's not waste any time. Let's get our first 2 into the arena. Up first, let's hear it for the 26th-time ranking event champion. It's the Welsh potting machine, Mark Williams. And his opponent is the reigning champion of the world. Let's hear it loud and proud for the warrior, Kyren Wilson!
Royalty is in the house here in Telford. 7 kings of the Crucible have made the quarterfinals.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It's in the commentary box, and it's not me.
To break.
Good evening, Phil. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, and what a match we have in store for us tonight. The first of the quarterfinals and the first of many great matches coming up, and this is a blockbuster. We're so lucky, Phil. We've, you know, I mean, what a lineup we have for the quarterfinals. Amazing. 7 world champions. I know Mark Williams head-to-head against Kyren Wilson is not great, but he's such an enigmatic character player over the years. Mark Williams, never discount him.
Well, he was saying the other day that the ball seemed blurry. He was saying that his eyesight has deteriorated badly over the last 6 months or so. And there, well, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. He caught the wrong red.
1.
Yeah, lovely shot. Lots of top spin just to get the other side of the blue. Straight away, he's down. Having a look at this red. Is it available into this bottom right-hand corner pocket? Just to try and free up the black. So try and get on that red. If it's not, the one just to the left of the black is available. Well, that tells me the red is potable. Now,
6.
He's got to be careful here. When he plays, he'll be going into the black, so he's got to judge the bounce of the black off the cushion back out into a potable position. And he's judged it.
7.
Nice, lovely shot that.
As previously discussed, the head-to-head in this match is very lopsided in favour of Wilson, but it's not just about the wins, it's also about the number of frames in the matches they've played. Wilson's won 39 frames, Williams 14. That's a massive gap.
Well, I'd say he must be the only player on the tour that has a record like that against Mark Williams. There's not many players, of all the great players that have played him over the years. I think that record is quite unique. Didn't have the angle to go into the reds. He was trying to actually remove that red from
14.
the baulk line and try and promote it into a potable position. So, just a safety shot.
Kyren Wilson, 14.
Their very first meeting was quarter-final, Northern Ireland Open in 2016. Wilson won 5-4. After that, he reeled off 5-1, 6-1, 4-1, 5-0, 4-0, 5-1. You don't do that against Mark Williams. But Williams does have genuine encouragement in their quarter-final of the Champion of Champions earlier this season. And what a high-quality contest it was. They combined for 4 centuries, including a 140 from Williams, who got the verdict 6-5.
Thanks, Kyren.
Can you write him off at your peril?
Yeah, I remember that match well. Very high quality. Yeah, and some players, you know, you just don't like playing and you have a bad record against them. Remember Stephen Hendry having a really bad record against a certain Mark Johnson Allen. You could never beat him. Yeah, it was interesting dialogue, wasn't it, with Mark Williams in his interview about his eyesight and about being a little bit blurry, but still able to pot the balls and get into the quarterfinals. I wonder will we see any ill effects tonight.
Well, Williams, one of the best players in history, and he is the best at deflecting pressure and taking away expectations. I'm not disputing what he's saying, but don't fall into the trap of dismissing his chances.
A little bit precarious, this position here, because if he nestles into the pack on either side, he could leave a red. That's why he's gesturing there. If he drops into the reds just beneath the pink, Kyren may have a chance of a pot into this right corner. So he's going down the left-hand side of the table. Looks a little bit short, this.
Foul on the miss. Kyren
Well
Wilson.
short. And I think he's left the red just to the right of the pink into this right corner. Must be pretty tight.
One.
And that's worked out nice. He's freed up the pink spot.
7.
He's landed nicely on this red. You can't play for black here, but the black is available, so he could play for pink or blue here.
Eight.
Needs to get top side and a little bit short. So in and out of bulk. He's played this lovely, and we saw from the previous
13.
shot he was having a look at the black into this left corner, which duly pots. So you can just drop this red in, get on nicely on the black, and wonderful chance awaits. Perfect.
Thank you. 14.
Appearing in his 6th ranking event quarter-final of the season, attempting to reach his 5th semi-final. I thought his quote after coming through the first round was very telling. He said, "I was determined not to let being world
21.
champion burden me. Instead, I was going to enjoy it." And he's absolutely
22.
prospered.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. He sort of cherished it, you know, welcomed the pressure and the attention that it brings. He's a wonderful lad, you know, he's a good ambassador, isn't he? You know, and he carries that mantle of the World Championship, you know, with
20.
authority and care and desire.
$30.
Yes, he's very focused on his game. But he's also a lover of the game. He holds it in great respect.
36.
And how can you not respect him?
$37.
Yeah, I think that red just below the pink will pot into the left corner pocket. That red, as we see, just below the pink here, back into this left corner. He's on it perfectly. And when he pots this, that will open the two reds that are pretty close to it. He'll screw back for the pink, or he could
43.
play for black.
44.
Looks very, very sharp indeed. Very focused. Been a wonderful break so far, and he's got frame ball
51.
coming up. Just a quick glance at the score.
$52.
Well, it's a shame it's gone wrong. That little
58.
cannon has knocked the red safe, and he's not on the red into the right centre pocket. So a safety shot coming up, but a wonderful lead, 76. I doubt if Mark Williams will come back to the table. Well, maybe he will, just for a bit of practice.
58. Frame conceded, frame Kyren
Has
Wilson.
second thoughts, a break of 58, and pretty clinically, Kyren Wilson wins the opener. Mark Williams, I think, is in for a tough task this evening.
Thank you. The second frame, Mark Williams to break.
Olivier Marteel announces the start of frame number 2. Already Kyren Wilson has made his mark. And for Wilson, what a difference a year has made. He was very deflated when he didn't qualify for this tournament last year. Now he's on cloud 9. But it doesn't matter whether you're a regular winner of tournaments, whether you're the world number 2, world champion, you can always use some good fortune. And that's what Wilson got there.
Oh, that was a bit of a strange one, because he's left this long red here for Kyren Wilson. And once again, got away with it. Now, he did mess up his opening gambit in the first frame for a long red, Mark Williams. He's lining up for this one. Let's see how close he can get with this one. No, it was a bit jabby. Not very confident, that one. That is a little worrying. Has he got away with it? I don't think so. This red just above the black, I think he can pot and possibly bring the black into play here.
Scratchy start to the frame. And the red clearly pots.
One.
Into the pocket that cost Chris Wakelin so dear.
8.
Well, he won't be happy with that. He's overshot that by a good 6 or 8 inches. Wanted to be left-hand side of the blue. It was more straightforward. It's a little bit awkward now. May be able to stretch for it, but bridging over it. This is missable. It was a poor positional shot for Mark Williams. Unlike
Mark
him.
Williams, 8.
Hasn't completely settled yet.
Five pots missed in the frame already. He was actually hoping for a little kiss on one of those reds, just to hold the cue ball.
Mark Williams, 1.
Clearly not happy with the sharpness or lack of sharpness of his eyesight. He was saying the other day that when he was playing from distance, basically he was guessing where to hit the balls. Sometimes plain old containment is the only option.
Yeah, and particularly there's not much they could do there, so it'll just be another little nudge into the pack. Just means for Mark Williams that he holds a slight advantage here. He can be a little bit aggressive, try and bring some reds out into the open, but that wasn't a good one because he could be glued to this top cushion behind the black here, and now the advantage may switch. Yeah, and it has done. So all he can do now is roll into the pack.
This kind of exchange, what you often see when a red is down in bulk. Also what happens quite regularly in this kind of frame, the reds become opened, and whoever gets in first makes plenty.
It's a little game of cat and mouse, and you want to be the cat here. Try and trap your opponent. He's trying to split the reds a little bit, so when he rolls back into the Mark Williams, that there may be a possible pot into a middle pocket, and that's why he's having to go deep on the cue ball, trying to screw it back now, taking a chance, but they're always moving a lot of reds. But he's played it well. But he could be back in the same position. When he comes back to the table, chance for Kyren, try and get that cue ball back somewhere where it is, but tight to the cushion. That's pretty good.
And that's predicted, Ken. No one's going to have to go into this pack. They're all there for the taking, eventually.
Yeah, and that was the difference. Mark Williams made a little mistake earlier on when he had the advantage. Sold the advantage to Kyren, and he's been playing catch up in this little safety exchange, and he's in trouble here. He's going to have to find a good one here. Possibly could go for red into the left centre, leave the cue ball down somewhere near that green pocket. But he could leave a pot, of course, into that left centre. So he's in a tough position here, but he's been one of the best potters that the game has ever seen. He's going to need to rely on that here to get himself out of trouble.
Misjudged on more than one count. It's not the gimme opening red that Wilson would have wanted, but if this works out, the shot, what an opportunity.
One.
Well, didn't play it too well, and lucky not to go in off. And he's left with well, this is a big shot here. It's missable. Oh, he's played it well. Well played. Good shot that. There's pressure on it. Cued it lovely. Fully committed.
8.
And gave it every chance to drop into the pocket. Good pot.
Well, a telltale sign of confidence. There was no hesitation whatsoever.
Nine.
Yeah, he's changed his game, Kyren Wilson. There's no doubt about it. You know, is the pace in which he goes around the table and the way he plays. It's obviously a conscious effort, and I like it. It's working for him. He's very, very fluent. He gets into a rhythm very quickly instead of stop, start, and stop, start.
13. Fourteen. 18. 19. 22. 23.
Well, he was a bit fortunate there, I'd have to say. It wasn't a good shot. Didn't mean to career into the blue, but it's worked out okay. Nicely available for into the green pocket, but that was a little bit fortunate.
Yeah, even the fact that there was a little bit of transferred side on the cue ball, which made the nudge on the blue even better for him.
$29. 32. 33.
Well, the ball killers are his best friends right now.
$37.
An unusual composition for a break. 2 greens, 3 browns. The yellow's feeling left out.
Thank you. 38.
Little tester coming up, blue into the green pocket. Once again, nice straight cueing. Looking right down the barrel of that shot. Wonderful. No problem.
43. 44.
Once again, not the best positional shot, but it might be okay because the yellow just about passes the brown. Didn't play for the yellow though, played for green or brown there. He's okay, keeps it going.
46.
But when a break is being increased in small increments, you have to put an awful lot of balls to secure a frame.
$52.
Frame ball coming up. And very, very quickly, it's going to be 2-0. And he's going to have a lot of work on his hands tonight, Mark Williams. This man is
53.
in very, very good form and looking very confident. Mark Williams is going to have to dig very, very deep into his own game to try and challenge the world champion.
58.
And to avoid any messing around, Wilson needs this. That's why he's giving this 100%.
$59. $62.
Unconventional this break. He's taken them well. A few minor moments of crisis.
Kyren Wilson, 62.
But when Williams left that red to middle, you suspected it could be expensive, and that's exactly how it's proved. 2-0. It is the start of a world champion-dominated quarter-final lineup in the Players' Championship. And the reigning world champion is off to a flyer. He leads Mark Williams 2-0. Williams has amassed 9 points in total so far. Has to get going rapido.
That little nudge on the yellow is given Kyren once again a red to go at here, just left of the blue. He's got plenty of cue power, so he's got no problem screwing the red. Either back for balk or he could even hold it for the blue. Lovely. Absolutely sublime. Just cued it beautifully. Wonderful shot.
$6. Thank you.
Yeah, another wonderful shot with the rest, make it look very, very easy indeed. Now, next shot. When he puts this red, leave himself a lovely angle
14.
on the black, because he's going to need a good split. He's going to leave a nice low angle you would expect. Maybe he likes playing it from the high side. Well, didn't fancy the black, so he's gone all the way up for the blue. It's gone a little
15.
bit too far. That's a bit of a surprise. It would have been straightforward. He probably feels he'd get more spread on the reds going in from the blue, but it was quite straightforward just to hold for the black there. So here we go. Got to hit that pink full ball and hope that he doesn't put a red. And that looks pretty good. If it just beats the black, is he okay? It's pretty tight. He's
20.
walking around confidently. He must be on it. He is.
$21.
Yes, in snooker, body language speaks volumes. They say about a game of fractions again. That applied there. You're right though, Ken, about Wilson with the rest. It's not just the fact he knocks in an extraordinary percentage of pots with the rest. It's the fact he controls the cue ball as though he's got his hand on the table.
27. $28.
So he's played for the red just above the black, but he's going into other reds here. Could possibly, is he going to screw back and maybe could possibly hold for pink into the right centre and still be on the black if it goes a little bit too far. Play for the pink into the right centre. No. No. Well, would you believe it?
Wilson,
His first real miss in this match, and what a chance for Mark Williams now. Mark, you got to step up.
One. Eight. No.
Williams is a snooker player, Phil. He's the epitome, isn't he, of just calmness and coolness, and he has a wonderful innate ability to be able to, whatever's gone before, he'll wipe the slate clean. You know, there's no, doesn't carry bad shots with him. You know, he'll come to the table here, look cool as you like, as if it's the first frame, and that is a wonderful talent in itself.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone wash away defeat so quickly.
$17.
When he was deprived of that Saudi Arabia ranking title and £500,000 by Judd Trump's clearance in the deciding frame earlier this season. I was chatting with him about 5 minutes afterwards. Yes, he was disappointed, but he just accepted it. He was within a couple of pots of winning £500,000.
22.
He actually cued the red very well. It just wobbled, and then
23.
Trump produced magic. Now, normally, a player would go into a darkened room for a couple of days after that, but not him.
Such an important visit, this. Getting
30.
steamrolled in those first couple of frames, really get his hand on the table amongst these reds. But
31.
he's going to just let his opponent know that if he misses, he's going to pounce. So important to come back with a counter here. Oh, would you believe it? Has he got the cover?
Mark
I don't
Williams,
think so.
31.
Maybe the top red of those 3 pots. It does. What a miss.
One.
And if he loses the frame in these circumstances, that will do his psyche more harm than had Wilson won the frame in a single visit.
Four. Five.
Well, that's not completely ideal. Doesn't have a nice angle to hold for these reds, so he's going to have to go in and out of balk unless he can manufacture a plant from those 2 reds. They're not in line to the corner pocket, but they may be made. Yeah, they're a long way off the line to the pocket, but he's looking at possibly being able to make it. So maybe a little bit of hope for Mark Williams just yet.
Ten.
Yeah, you see how far offline they are. When he's trying to line up where he can hit the first red onto the second red. But this is very missable.
Kyren Wilson, 10.
Well, it was very risky.
One. Six.
Well, he's 9 points behind, so he's going to need red colour and up to and including the pink here. I wonder will he try and get the pink on the spot here? Doesn't have to. No, didn't want to keep it there.
Thank you.
Keep it
7.
simple.
Ten. 12.
Didn't get into the cue ball a little bit. That was a little bit of a nervy one. You may be able to just use enough left-hand side to try and check it and hold the cue ball here. Yeah. Well
15.
played. He's okay. Thought he got a big bounce off that cushion, a little wry smile, but he's okay. He's in good position. Brown, blue and pink required.
$19. $24.
He missed a blue earlier in the frame. We thought that might cost him. Maybe not. But don't be confused. This pink is going into a very narrow pocket entrance.
A bit surprised the way he played that blue. He could have played it and dug down into the cue ball, but it is missable. Ah, well played. Great shot.
30 and the frame.
Yeah, 2 days before his 50th birthday, the veteran pinches a frame that could turn this match. 2-1.
Thank you, frame 4. Mark Williams to break.
Mark Williams played a minor role in the first 2 frames. You couldn't help but wonder, with Wilson at the table twice in frame 3, whether the Welshman was going to be swamped. Suddenly, though, he wins this frame, 2-all at the interval, game on.
One. Kyren Wilson 1.
As Ken was alluding to earlier, in the late 90s, early 2000s, from distance, Mark Williams was mustered the best in that department in the game. From distance, so far in this match, he's been all at sea.
Well, what a result he's had there. That's quite incredible. He's gone for a very aggressive shot into the middle pocket, but that double kiss on the cue ball, and to stop it there and not leave a red on, particularly that red over the right centre, well, can't beat a bit of luck, Phil. Look at this.
Yeah, luck even at the top level plays a very big part. Look at the first round match this afternoon. Zhao Guodong, he was in a horrible snooker. The reds were everywhere. He couldn't decide what to do. Couldn't see a route to safety. So he just indiscriminately whacked the cue ball. In went a red. Then he made a 73 break with no hint of guilt to win 6-5 against Wu Yuzi.
Well, we might see both players look at each other here and have a re-rack, because it's going to take a bit of time to sort this out. Yeah.
Eye contact not yet made. Maybe because the red's been left.
This red pots into the yellow pocket, and you could just stun just to the left of the pack and leave a long blue here.
The way this frame's going, it could duplicate the second. When Wilson eventually got in, and with a series of small colours, he put together a break of 62.
Well, he didn't want that going anywhere near the pocket. Certainly didn't want it going in, but he didn't want to leave it either, and he has left it. Okay, it's close to this top cushion, but if he pots it, he could actually get on the black here. No. Well, has he left it? I think he's left that red beside the black. So what a chance for Mark Williams. He wasn't expecting to come back to the table so quickly.
1. Eight. 9. $11.
Mark Williams, a member of the famed class of 1992. That means a professional career of 33 years and counting. In that time, he's amassed 115 ranking event quarterfinals, gunning for what would be his 67th semi-final. $14. 15. Playing in a quarter-final, Ken, for him, it's so familiar, it's like being in his front room.
Yeah, and I mean, the way this match started off, I mean, you just thought
20.
Wilson looks almost invincible the way he was playing, full of confidence.
21.
And Mark really hadn't settled. And then all of a sudden there was a miss ping from Wilson into the right centre. And that speculative plant that he went for. Cost him the frame, and that misread into the green. It may cost him this frame. And
28.
Mark Williams won't believe he'd be 2-2 at the interval. And neither will his opponent.
29.
It's amazing how quick things can change. You take your eye off the ball for 1 second. At this level, you get found out.
Yeah, I thought the plant in particular was ultra bold.
35. $42. 43.
We basically said this at the start of the match. Never allow Mark Williams and what he says to lull you into a false sense of security.
$50. 51.
He's taking these really well. 57.
58.
Ahead still 67 remaining. So this red and another colour would be enough, but I'd like to put a few more.
59.
Quick glance at the score. It was such an important previous frame that Mark stole on the pink.
64.
And now all of a sudden, this red will guarantee back on parity terms during the interval.
65.
Match truly on.
$68. $68 and the frame.
No century, but more than enough. It's been a day of really close finishes here in Telford, and who knows, this one could also go the distance. It is 2-2.
And it's all square in our first quarter-final of the Players' Championship. Kyren Wilson has had the majority of table time, and he took a 2 frames lead. But Mark Williams has taken his chances well and brought it back to 2-2 at the high break of the mini-session in the last frame. Neil and Alan, I don't know if it's really got going yet. It feels as though maybe one of these players, Neil, am I right in saying, could grab this one by the scruff of the neck?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that, Kyren looked like he was going to do that, actually. He started well, he won the first couple of frames. It's been a bit of a loose match, There's not this sort of immaculate safety that we might have seen earlier on, or in a sort of a Mark Selby-Neil Robertson clash. It's been quite open and, some great shots, but a few surprising shot selections, I think, as well.
Who will be the happier at the break?
Well, certainly Mark Williams will, because as we get into frame one, we thought it was going to be more of the same from round one here, on the back of a really bad mistake by Mark Williams. He's normally pristine in his defences, and that was poor. He's a good 12 or 10 inches short of pace there. Kyren gets about his work. He doesn't win it in one hit, but a nice 58, powerful with his cue ball as usual, playing some nice cannons, getting Reds into the open and getting about his work, as I say. And the early signs were very good. I thought he was a wee bit fortunate here, the Red, initially to get that blue, and he gets in the open. But then nearly his cue ball was not behaving the way that we're used to seeing it once or twice.
I mean, it was a different end of the table for most of the break. You know, he never really got in control. But he is the one player who, it doesn't seem to bother him. You know, he doesn't have this immaculate control. He's not a touch player, but he's a world champion for a reason, isn't he? You were, you know, not so. You wouldn't have played this plant, though, would you?
No. I mean, look at the state of the game. They're 15 in front, 2-0 to the good, a couple of Reds on offer. So perhaps the play was there to just, you know, batten down the hatches, get 3-0 in front, and perhaps go on further. But another bad mistake on the back of the initial one.
That's right. And, you know, the thing with Mark Williams is he can sort of creep up on you a little bit. You know, we know that he's not feeling that confident. He's blinking and looking up at the lights as if he's not happy. But, you know, he can creep up on you, Mark Williams. He's got it to 2-2. And, you know, it's everything to play for. You kind of feel that Kyren is in the ascendancy, but he is only 2 each, you know, and Mark's very experienced.
There's Kyren up in the practice room. You see Judd Trump also in the table behind him. Of course, we've wall-to-wall world champions here in the next round of the Players' Championship. Will Kyren be worried at all, having lost those 2 frames? He's very aware, obviously, that Mark Williams can pounce on any opportunity.
Well, I don't think he'll be worried because his game's in good order. But if I was his brother, I'd be saying, what's going on out there, pal? We can't be playing these silly shots to invite Mark back into the match, because if you give him too many invitations, regardless of the form or the eyesight trouble he's having, he will find a way, as we saw in the last round. So Kyren has put himself under pressure at this point.
What will Mark Williams be thinking? What's his focus for the next mini-session?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be delighted to be 2 each. And as I said, he's got all this experience. You know, you don't worry about Mark. You know, his record was 7-0 down against Kyren, but he managed to beat him when winning the champion of champions. So if the chance comes to get this match won, even if it's unlikely against the run of play, Mark will be able to take it.
You made the point before the match how Mark plays with no pressure on his shoulders at all. You know, he's done everything there is to do in the game. But at the same time, he is a competitor, and if he gets a sniff...
Oh, yeah. Listen, he's got a good setup, you know, in his world, and also he's been there and done everything at snooker. So I think that what makes him dangerous is that if he loses, he will shrug his shoulders, and that's quite a dangerous person to be.
We've seen 2 matches go the full distance here this afternoon. Do you think we're going to see something similar tonight?
I think we could do it similar to John Higgins. John's not too proud to win ugly, for want of a better word. Mark Williams is cut from the exact same cloth as we know. He doesn't care how he gets it done, as long as he gets it done, and I think he still can. So, prediction, go on. I think Mark might get this. I think maybe in a decider.
No, I think Kyren will win, but it's not quite going to plan so far, I don't think, for him.
Great stuff. OK, when we come back then, we will see who goes through into the semi-final of the Players' Champion. Effectively the best of 7 to find out who makes it into the last 4. And back here in Telford, it's honours even in the first quarter-final of the Players' Championship. Kyren Wilson took the opening 2 frames before Mark Williams pulled it back to 2-2. So who will edge it tonight? You can find out in the company of Stephen Hendry and David Hendon.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, there's no doubt Kyren Wilson opened the door there for Mark Williams, and he made full use of the opportunity. 2-2, set up nicely. First quarter-final here at the Players' Championship. Whatever happens, it'll be Mark Williams' last match in his 40s. If he wins, he'll be playing the semi-final on his 50th birthday on Friday.
Yeah, what the first 4 frames showed us is that at this level you cannot let your focus or your concentration slip at any stage, as Kyren Wilson did. He looked to have complete control of this match at 2-0. Okay, 2-0 still quite early, but he did have control. Williams was struggling, but he let Williams back into it. Now he's got a match. Now he's got to try and refine that focus. Not always easy to switch it on and off during a match.
It's not touching.
Well, he's had a couple of practice goes.
Re-rack.
That was going nowhere, so off we go again. At least it was decided quickly. It's been that sort of day, hasn't it? You know, we've had 2 matches already, both gone the distance, and at 2-0 to Kyren Wilson, you thought, well, this one won't. But now, Mark Williams every right to believe he could spring, I guess, what would be something of a surprise, just on current form. Now, if the red light's on your face there in the arena, it means you're out. So that's what you don't want. And those players you can see there have been knocked out. As we keep going, though, into the light. There's Sean Murphy. And there's Mark. Selby, Zhao Gudong, John Higgins, Neil Robertson. And there's Kyren alongside Judd Trump. Two players of the season. Seeded to play in the World Final, but there's a hell of a lot that can happen before then.
Thank you. Frame 5, Kyren Wilson to break.
See Matt Williams lead the tipping of his cue in the baulk cushion as he left the table, apologising because that was a nice little bit of run of the ball there to get the cue ball back to not far away from where he played from. This is not easy. Straight down to play that pretty quickly.
Foul on the miss. Mark Williams, 4. Yeah, okay. You have
Wilson just asking that it's put up on the screen so that he can see and be happy with it. It's Rob Spencer.
It's about a quarter of a ball that way, Ollie. Touch more, just a touch. And then towards me about a quarter of a ball. Tiny bit that way, tiny bit. It's a touch towards me again, just a tiny bit. Right, that looks fine now, Ollie. That looks good, yeah?
Yeah. Kyren? Yeah. Mark, thank you.
I thought Mark Williams' interview was very interesting because, you know, we know he can be very self-deprecating and a bit of a joker, but I thought he spoke very sincerely about how much he valued being in an event like this, playing in the big tournament against the world champion still as he approaches 50 in a couple of days. He's very good at switching off, we know that. He enjoys himself away from the circuit, certainly not practicing every day, but when he's here, he still loves being part of it.
Foul and a miss. Kyren Wilson 4.
Well, I mean, he said after the last match, he's with his eyes. The object ball's very blurry. I mean, if this is the case, he's got to get something done about it quickly. Quite frankly, so he's not going to be able to compete.
Yeah, you want me to check? Can we check, please?
Full ball that way.
Full ball. Yeah. Kyren?
It's also a little bit disconcerting for Kyren Wilson to. I'm sure he'll have heard of the interview that Mark gave, saying about his eyesight. It kind of puts you on the back foot a little bit, I suppose. You don't want to lose a match to someone who can't see properly. That was a
1.
very nice pot. It'll be the only points he scores at this visit.
Kyren Wilson 1.
There was a player, Fred Davis, younger brother of Joe, in the sort of post-war years, and he actually became short-sighted at a young age, but he was sort of too embarrassed to wear glasses during a match, and he lost to a player called Bill Withers in the World Championship, and Joe was so disgusted that the family name had been besmirched, he went out and beat Bill Withers 30 frames to 1 in the next round. Wasn't a lovely day for Bill Withers. We certainly saw this afternoon John Higgins not at his very best, but found a way to win that match. And Williams, of course, is cut from the same cloth. We saw it actually in his match against Ding. You know, he wasn't anywhere near his best, but still won pretty comfortably.
Foul on the miss.
See clearly what Kyren has to do. Keep Mark Williams at distance. Keep as much distance between cue ball and object ball as possible.
Mark? Okay. Kyren? Thank you. 1. Six. Seven. $13. Thank you. 14.
Well, you have to look at his expression to know that that's end of break. Back to the long grass.
Bramble. Kyren Wilson, 14.
Of course, the second table will be removed tonight, so the arena will look different tomorrow.
Kyren did well for that red to go around the back of this red that's near the right corner. I don't think he can quite believe that that red is still there. But again, you would think put plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball, and it seems like Mark Williams is going to struggle to find that point on the object ball.
One. 6. 7. 12. 13.
That was beautifully struck. Not hanging around, Kyren Wilson, at all. Average shot time, 18 seconds.
Olivier Marteel is lurking the referee here, this brown under the waistcoat. There he is. Very close, isn't he? I think the best compliment you could pay Kyren Wilson this season, the whole season he's looked like the world champion.
90.
You know, he's had that confidence and that attitude. He's absolutely relished the mantle. Not everyone has done, of course, over the years. You never know until you win it how you'll feel. It's been his most successful ever
20.
season. Of course, he's not over yet. The title defence is coming up in a few weeks.
He seems to have regained that focus he had at the first couple of frames of this match.
$26.
Struggling a little bit. Okay, he's pulling out some good pots stuff, but he's just struggling a little bit with the cue ball at the moment. It's not the easiest table, the way the balls are situated. That brown is just, was in the way of going in and out of bulk.
$31.
50 points in front, so it does need a lot more points to secure this frame, but this is certainly missable. And it's something he's done
32.
throughout his whole career, is even if he hasn't had the best cue ball control in the world, he's always been a fantastic potter, getting himself back into position.
$34. $35.
I've said before tonight, he's got a 7-1 record against Mark Williams, and he, to be fair, he's had the air of someone tonight that he's very confident playing against. From frame one, he's just his attitude, the game that he's played has been at times hyper aggressive. Just get the feeling that he doesn't think he can lose to Mark Williams.
Yeah, you have to stay on the right line, don't you? You have to have that confidence for sure, but can't afford to start taking liberties. We've seen already in this match it has cost him, but not in this frame. Back in front.
48.
Self-belief is something he's always had, Wilson, right from his junior days. It's something that maybe he was either born with or developed through his upbringing. And of course that is so important in a sport like snooker. So, in the end, he's dominated this frame. And Kyren Wilson, having had his 2-0 lead wiped out, he's back in front at 3-2, 6 required to reach the semi-finals of the Players' Championship. So, 3-2 it is to Kyren Wilson.
Thank you, frame 6.
Aiming to book his place in the semi-finals here in Telford. Wasn't in the event last year. Didn't do well enough during the season to get in it. And being world champion didn't get him in this year. It's all based on all the other tournaments, because he's won 3 ranking events.
Yeah, again, a very aggressive shot choice, which I don't disagree with at all. But obviously when you're going to play these and at pace, you always run the risk of leaving your opponent with an opportunity.
1.
Williams playing kind of hit and hope there with the cue ball. He's found a pot with a brown to the middle pocket. And as I say, close in. I don't think there's going to be any problems for Mark, but as we've seen from distance, he's
5.
Has got problems.
Six. $12. $13.
Mark Williams lost in the final of the Saudi Arabia Masters in that thriller with Judd Trump, but the £200,000 and points got him in all these events. Hasn't actually earned that much outside of that, just another 65,000 on the one-year list, but he knew when he got to the final, even before it started, that it would get him in all these other big tournaments. I don't think I've ever seen anyone take a narrow defeat so well. You know, it was 300,000 riding on winning and losing that final, and he was a couple of balls from winning it. Mr. Red Judd Trump made a great clearance to win 10-9 on the black, and Mark was still able to act as if, you know, it wasn't a big deal. He was disappointed, but he wasn't sort of crushed by it.
I think he loves his life, basically. I think kind of plays these tournaments as almost like a hobby in his spare time.
26.
Doesn't practice. But his only practice is when he's actually at the venue. Before the Grand Prix, he was in Turkey on a golf
27.
trip. Lost in the first round in Hong Kong, then went back to Turkey, another golf trip, before coming here. So it shows you he's not as dedicated as, certainly as his opponent is. But it's the stage of his career that he's at, and he's quite happy. That doesn't make him any less dangerous an opponent.
$33. $34.
Struck that pretty well.
40.
But not out of the woods yet in terms of straightforward position. He's going to have to play another cannon on a red here to leave the pink into left middle. Again,
41.
well played. Kind of finishing no man's land here.
47.
Not nicely on anything. And you could hear the sound of the ultra hard tip. I mean, it's almost like he's hitting the cue ball with the back end of a frying pan, the sound it makes. But he gets the job done.
Yeah, no, Mark, you'll like the fact that people don't like the sound of it. Any little edge you can get is what he's all about.
Yeah, I've had a shot with his cue, and it doesn't play the way it sounds. It actually plays better than how it sounds, but it's absolutely rock hard. And that was a better positional shot than it looked.
52.
Nicely on this red to this left corner pocket. This has been a
53.
Absolutely signature Mark Williams break. It really is. It's not been easy from the word go, but series of little cannons, little rescue shots to get back. And he's refusing to leave the table till the frame's won.
$58.
Yeah, I think this is a red to play. It looks pretty straightforward, just to, well, say straightforward until it did that, but it's pretty straightforward to pot it and just leave the pink into either right middle or right corner. Play for right middle, it means you don't have to hit it as hard, and it makes the pot easier. He has played for it into right corner.
Thank you.
It's really been a
59.
wonderful break. I mean, he's had to fight every step of the way to keep it going.
Well, he is still on a red to middle. It's the
65.
frame ball. So one more good pot, and it should be 3-3. Classic Williams.
Yeah, the red that Kyren went for. I would never tell players to stop going for pots if they think they're going to get them, but it's that kind of shot that is keeping Mark Williams in this match.
Mark Williams, 66.
Trying to keep the break going by getting on the next red. Has missed the pink at pace. 2 snookers needed, though. It was a fine contribution. That's 66. Well,
frame conceded,
he's left the red on and he's conceded. So Mark Williams refusing to go away here. He levels up once again. It's 3-3. Can Williams get his nose in front? He's been trailing throughout the night, but has levelled up again.
Kyren Wilson to break.
Oh, didn't see it. If they've been here all day, they've certainly had their money's worth. It's a terrific venue, actually, this Telford International Centre. Yeah, and that second table, of course, will be removed overnight. Well, it was a big shot to play. How costly will it be?
One. Just a moment, Kyren.
Kyren can somehow get an angle on the blue. It's a huge target. It's a beautiful target to go into the bunch from the blue. And if he does get to play that shot,
thank you.
Hopefully bring
7.
either pink or black into play as well. Maybe I'll have to force an angle to get on blue from this. It looks pretty straight, yeah. Have to go for bulk.
8.
He's played that very well. A choice of yellow or green. Again, big target from either side of the table to go into the reds. Need to get as much pace into this cue ball as possible, though.
10.
Just one or two signs of frustration
Kyren Wilson, 10.
from Kyren Wilson tonight. I don't know whether it's he just expected to maybe win this match comfortably, or the fact that Mark Williams can be frustrating to play against.
Foul
He
and a
plays
miss.
shots as bad as
Kyren
that,
Wilson, 4.
but then the next time he could play a really good shot. Yeah, this is very good. But one kind of looked exasperated, walking back to his chair. He thinks there's a gap. Can Mark Williams see it?
One.
Yeah, Kyren still shaking his head. Wry smile. Played a wonderful safety shot. He can legislate for that gap that he left.
Mark Williams, 1.
Now he's left with a problem that he thought he was leaving Mark Williams.
Foul and a miss. Mark Williams, 4. One.
Lovely pot. And then does he play the cannon on the red next to the black? Just stun across. And as long as he gets it on the high side of the red, you think it will work out okay. It's okay. But with the pink going up the other end of the table, I thought he may have taken the opportunity to try and bring the black into play there. If he goes up for pink, pink will come back down onto the black spot, which would obviously be a help in scoring.
8. $14. $15.
I'm not sure if the table's playing a bit heavier tonight. The reason I say there's a player that hitting the cue ball quite hard and not getting the most reaction out of the cue ball.
20.
Kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt, because both players' positional play hasn't been pinpoint. You can see that this area around the sort of black spot area is quite congested. That's again a reason why I thought he would have brought the black into play straight away off that first pink. Everything's kind of covering each other. May play a cannon into the 3 reds that are together here.
$26. $27.
Well, he has been getting chances tonight. Mark Williams has been quite attacking, but when they've not been going in, he's been leaving these openings. Up to Wilson to keep control now.
$33.
He's third for centuries this season, 57. Mark Selby's made 59. Of course, Judd Trump, 88.
$34. $41.
Yeah, and still getting on with it. He's playing at a nice pace, as he has done really all year.
$46. $47.
So this, and he's back in front at 4-3.
$53. $54. $60. $61.
Well, he's going to make a century. He's going to have to pull something special out here. not to be, but a swift 61
Kyren
is enough for
61.
Kyren Wilson
And the finish.
to regain the lead. So when the chance came, he took it really well. 4-3, and he needs 2 more for victory. So Kyren Wilson once again in front. Can he now start to take control and get himself over the line? He needs 2 more frames to do that and reach the semi-finals here in Telford. And he would play the winner of tomorrow afternoon's blockbuster between Mark Selby and Neil Robertson.
One.
Not straightforward to get on a red here without playing some sort of cannon. He's looking at a gap there that's... He's going to take a nice shot to find. And he's overrun it. And is there a red onto right middle?
6.
No.
Mark Williams, 6. Foul and a miss. Kyren Wilson, 6.
That's a nice idea, but the wrong ball.
Drop
Olivier
for the pink,
Marteel
please.
will have to replace pink and cue ball.
It's a full ball that way, Ollie. Right, a bit more. Right, okay, and then towards me, about 3/4 of a ball. Touch more, keep coming. Towards me. Yeah, that looks okay now.
Yeah?
Yeah, that looks fine, yeah.
Mark, you think? Cue ball okay?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Kyren, thank you.
Well, over-adjusted. Just looking to glance off the Reds. Caught that one really thick.
One.
Well, he's livid
6.
there. He's livid.
And so he should be. For someone of his class and a world champion, that was a terrible shot. He's just taken a few seconds out to calm himself down because he had, well, acres in snooker terms to land the cue ball in there. Yeah, and that was, well, he's off and running before,
Wilson, 6.
virtually before the cue ball had made contact with the red there. He didn't let go of the frustration from the previous shot. He's got to be careful, Kyren, to keep his composure before his focus.
Well, Williams not able to punish. Can Wilson see the potting angle? I think he can.
One.
So at least he's immediately back to the table rather than sort of stewing in his seat. Got a little hot under the collar there, didn't he? But he may be one to forget if he can just press on here as if nothing had happened. He clearly believes he should win this match, which is fine, as long as he does. He has been offering chances to Williams, who's just faded a little bit in the last 20 minutes or so.
7. Yellow ball.
Yeah, I think that's generally tonight. I think there's no doubt Kyren's
Kyren Wilson,
probably
7.
playing the best snooker. But if he, as I say, if he loses his composure, he could let this match slip. Because Williams basically never loses his composure, ever. He may. He may have lost his eyesight, but he never loses his composure.
Kyren Wilson, 4.
You're right, though. He's going to have to look into it, isn't he, very soon. He said he would wait till after the World Championship to decide what the best option would be. But he's going to have to change something.
Mark? You want me to check? Rob, can we check, please? You were so quick, sometimes I don't have time to have a look. Sorry. It's okay.
Well, it's all very cordial.
Quarter ball back towards you. And a touch
Sure,
that way.
was it the World Grand Prix last year when, in a situation like this,
tiny bit more.
Olivier Marteel was replacing
Tiny
one of the
bit.
other balls and Mark Williams
Yeah,
hit the
that's
cue
okay.
ball and was then fouled for it. So you won't be doing that again. Anyway, slight adjustment. Yeah, more like it. Dennis Taylor lost to Terry Griffiths in the 1979 World Championship and felt that his eyes were failing, and of course turned up a couple of years later wearing the very famous ones that he's remembered for, and sort of was an object of a bit of derision at first, but not after he won that World Championship 40 years ago. Caught this one well. The mists are clearing.
Thank you.
Well, I can't tell you how difficult this pot is. Nah.
1.
That's pot of the night for me. What a shot. A little bit unlucky to have landed pretty much dead straight on this black. I don't know whether they can play top spin off, just sort of create an angle, play top spin of 2 cushions for that red You could see the bottom of the bunch to the same pocket. If he doesn't get on that, he may have a red to left middle. Yeah, not sure what he's played for there.
8.
Whatever it is, he's not on it nicely. I could have played that with a little bit more power. Good cue ball, but
Mark Williams, 8.
I thought he could have done more with that black to get better position. Shame, because the opening red was world class.
One. Kyren Wilson, 1.
Well, he's getting a lot of chances, Wilson, but he's just not taking them now. But he's catching. Bit of a trudge back to the seat there for Mark.
Yeah, he's not going through his normal sighting routines, Mark Williams, tonight. I don't know whether it's because his eyes are bothering him or not, whether they're not allowing him to go through his normal routines. Normally you see him sort of shuffling his feet to get in the right position. He's just getting down and hitting the shots. There's been a lot more unforced errors tonight from him. As I say, you think Kyren, if he can just stay composed, he wins this match.
1.
Came in early on, it looked like he wanted to win it, you know, very impressively, but now he just wants to win it. 2-0, he had visions of sort of 6-0, 6-1. Now he just wants to get to 6. Because, and he's not won yet, but if he does win, he'll feel he'll have to raise his game against either Mark Selby or Neil Robertson.
Seven.
Yeah, I think the table is not easy to play on tonight. There's just no reaction on the cue ball in most of these screw shots that are being played. I think it's playing very heavy. That was quite a good shot, actually. Hold the cue ball in the middle of the table.
30.
Great chance here now to go 2 up with a possible 3 to play.
$14.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the match is kind of there for the taking if he can just keep control now.
$90. 20. $27. $28. $33. $34.
Checking the scoreboard, he will need another red after this because Williams could still tie. He's needed a few chances, but Mark Williams, as I say, just seems to have faded a little.
41.
This is for 5-3.
$42.
So he's on the brink. 20.5 minutes, longest frame of the match, but we've had longer frames today. We had one 67 minutes this afternoon. John Higgins
49.
and Chris Wakelin.
So, 50.
Trying to win a 4th ranking title this season.
57.
And only 2 of the first-time champions, world champions, had won at least 3 in their first season. Stephen was the first and Judd Trump the second. So even some of the greats in their first year as world champions struggled with the expectation
65.
and the extra scrutiny. Kyren Wilson hasn't. If anything, he's getting more confident with every tournament.
67. $70. $74. $79.
Not exactly position A. Bit of work needed on that one, but fine 79 from Kyren Wilson. That's his highest break of the night, and it's put him on the brink of victory. If Mark Williams can see the score, he's 5-3 down.
Frame 9, Kyren Wilson to break.
Yeah, he's found the best habit of all as a snooker player, or indeed any individual sport. He's got into the habit of winning this season, Kyren Wilson, and it gets you through matches like tonight when you're not at your best. If you had a season where you haven't won, you find you can come off the loser in matches like tonight, but because he's got that habit of winning, that confidence, he's finding a way of getting the job done still. Where's this red going? Oh, that's horrible. What a shot. What an effort. Is he on a red to right corner?
6.
Or is this a plant? Well, Kyren's sitting in he's squirming in his chair, Kyren Wilson.
Well, he started with a sort of grin, but it's gradually disappeared.
Good grief. How many went in there?
9.
3. That's one way to win the frame quickly. Just pot all the reds in one go. Now he is smiling.
I thought I was watching 9-ball pool there for a minute.
Well, that was a pretty special 30 seconds. Wilson, okay, he had a grin on his face, but he'd be concerned now because Mark Williams is... The fluke was one thing, but then the way he got into the reds, then the plant that took care of 3 reds.
$14. 15.
Yeah, Mark turns 50 on Friday, but he's not playing like a sort of veteran, is he? He's playing like a young man.
21.
I think once the initial pot, they ended up fluking, he got nowhere near.
22. $28. 29.
Yeah, I don't think that's a first for me, I think. See 3 reds potted in one shot. Oh, Mark Williams, that is a shocker.
36.
Straight down to play this.
Mark Williams, 36.
Yeah, in the end, just one bad positional shot out of nowhere cost him there. Well, here's another chance. He's actually potted 4 out of 6 from distance tonight. Oh, he's not happy. Just a slight reaction there. It's a hangover really from the frustration at not making more the first time.
One. Six. Seven.
He's going to need a good positional shot here. In and out of balk. Over the brown spot, probably with check side, a bit of left-hand side. Bring the cue ball down the left side of the table. Yeah, here it comes. Well played. Yeah, very good.
13.
I say very good, but it's going to need another good positional shot here. You feel he's just one more pinpoint positional shot away from winning this match. Certainly getting in a position to do so, and that could be it. That's a great shot as well. You feel he senses this is his time to finish this match off. Kind of put Mark Williams out of his misery in a way.
21.
It definitely needs to sort out his problem with his sighting, Mark Williams, before, if not before the Tour Championship, certainly before the World Championship, whether it resorts to some sort of Dennis Taylor light glasses or contact lenses or something, because he clearly is struggling.
23.
Well, it's the 40th anniversary, isn't it, of Dennis winning in '85. If he goes for sort of surgery, obviously it may be wiser to wait until after the Crucible.
$24.
We've had this strange curse all season. Every player who's beaten Ding Junhui has then lost the next match every tournament. In fact, it started last season. And Mark Williams, of course, beat Ding in round one. Played this well. Yeah, I don't think Ding has put a curse on anyone, but it's a very strange stat.
30.
Robbie Williams at the Welsh Open last year was the last player to beat him and then win his next match.
$31.
Yeah, this looks like the end.
38.
He's played a series of really good positional shots in this
39.
break, Kyren Wilson. As I said, he's clearly been the better player tonight. Maybe lost his composure, or maybe just a few shot choices were a little bit too aggressive. Maybe thought this match was going to be a lot easier than it turned out.
45.
It looks like he's finishing it in pretty cool style.
46.
Yeah, and it's another reason to admire Wilson. His mind isn't on the Crucible defence. It's on whichever tournament he's in. He wants to win them all. It's a great attitude. If he can kill it off here, I think he'll be happy enough with the way he's won the last two frames. He's going to have a big match, whoever comes
51.
through between Mark Selby and Neil Robertson, clearly.
$53.
But whoever wins that, will also have a handful in the shape of Kyren Wilson, a man with great self-belief, enjoying the year of his life.
56.
He needs the brown to reach the 31st world ranking event semi-final.
60.
We wish Mark Williams a happy birthday for Friday. He's a unique character in our sport. Let's hope he carries on playing for a long, long time yet.
65.
Just faded a little tonight towards the end.
71.
Kyren Wilson has put together 2 very good frames here. 79 in the last.
71, Kyren Wilson. 7, Mark Williams.
And that's 71 from Kyren Wilson, the first man into the semi-finals of the Players' Championship. A very entertaining match here. The crowd in Telford thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's Kyren Wilson, who's already won 3 titles, remember, this season, who beats Mark Williams by 6 frames to 3 to advance to the semi-finals of the Players' Championship.
And Kyren Wilson is the first man into the semi-finals of this year's Players' Championship. I'm delighted to say stepped in to join Ken and Al and I. Congratulations. Well done. Interesting match. I just want to ask you, what did you make of that last frame? What went through your mind when those 3 reds went in against Mark?
It was like kamikaze. It was just everything was happening. All reds were travelling towards pockets, and it started with a fluke as well. And yeah, obviously it's good value for the crowd, but for me, I'm sitting there thinking, please don't clear up, because it could be a match turner. But thankfully, he ran out of position, and yeah, I managed to make a really good break in that last frame.
You got off to a great start, and then he came back. He went 3-3. What was going through your mind there? Because it did look as though he was beginning to get a head of steam up.
Yeah, you know, Mark's so good. You know, you can't allow him into a match. And at 2-0, sorry, I should have gone into the interval at least 3-1 up. And if anything, Mark probably felt like he won that little mini session to go 2 each. So it was about resetting, you know, going into the practice room, hitting a few balls, and I came out and won the next frame to go 3-2. So just kind of set me back on the right path.
Let's show you some of the stuff after the interval, Kai, and you can maybe talk us through some of it, because there was a lot of good ball striking in there. Is it fair to say the table's misbehaving a tad?
Yeah, without getting myself into trouble. Yeah,
be careful what you say.
It was tricky. It was tricky tonight, but yeah, you just had to get through the ball a little bit smoother, and yeah, sort of shots like that, you really got to drive through the ball.
Your long part is, I think, is, you know, it's got better and better.
Yeah.
You know, you're striking the ball right in the centre.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting right through it, and you're really, you know, there's nothing on the table that everything you're looking at, you're confident knocking in.
Absolutely, and I'm playing with a good rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a couple of shots here. I'm just trying to like zip through the white, and as I said, with it being a little bit tricky, it was hard to get top side of the blue sometimes. But yeah, you know, I'm working hard on my technique, on my alignment, on the practice table. And yeah, obviously it's paying off with some of the shots that I'm putting there.
You were telling us before we come on air here again that you've made 4 reds at well. No, Mark could only make the 3.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was good. It was good value for the crowd.
Has it been a conscious decision of yours, you know, this season to like pick up the pace quite a lot, because you seem to like be a lot quicker in your in the way you're going around the table and your shot choices and your shot time as well?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a conscious effort to change it. I just think over the past couple of years, my scoring has got heavier and heavier. And I think that's as a result of playing a bit quicker. But like I said previously, I've played since I was 6 years old, so I've always seen the game very naturally. You know, I've just modified things slightly to be a little bit stronger under pressure. But you know, as I mentioned previously, winning that world title's freed me up, and it's allowed me to play my sort of fluent snooker that I want to play.
Now, looking ahead, I know you're going to treat this tournament with the respect it deserves. It's a massive event, as is the Tour Championship. But how much have you thought about in the last couple of months about the 19th of April, 10 a.m. at the World Championship?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, of course. It's
no,
obviously,
you wouldn't be human.
It's lingering in the background, isn't it? But you know, as you mentioned, you can't sort of disrespect these events. And you know, at the start of the season, these are the ones you want to play in the ITV series. They're really classy tournaments.
You've had a good season.
Exactly. And you know, it can be a bit of a toss of a coin, because I wasn't in these last year and actually went on to win the World Championships. But then a lot of players say being in these and having the match sharpness can give you a great run up to the World Championships. So yeah, it's neither here nor there.
You want to be going to the World Championship with it, you know, on the back of a good win here
100%.
Or at the Tour as well.
Yeah,
because these are the big events.
Absolutely, and if you're going into them with confidence, you know, this is prime time television, obviously in the UK. and you want to be winning these tournaments. So yeah, I'm obviously very proud to be a part of it.
And listen, if you get into the final here, you've done well because you've beat Mark Allen, obviously Mark Williams today, and next up it's going to either be Mark Selby or Neil Robertson, both class players. You know, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Neil's had a fantastic season. So has Mark. I think Mark won the Welsh Open, and obviously Neil's just won in Hong Kong. So two in-form players, great world champions, great ambassadors. So yeah, it's going to be an easy game for me next week.
I get the impression, though, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. You're playing with that confidence. It's about your game and how you can, put yourself into the match and just show what you can do, rather than worrying too much about who you're facing.
Absolutely, I believe I can beat anyone. I've lifted the biggest title that there is to lift. So for me, it's almost like a bit of a free hit from then on in, because I know deep down I've proved it now. I can do it, and I've had a good season. I've won 3 tournaments so far. But yeah, I want to add to that. So I'll be trying my best to obviously beat either Mark or Neil.
Great stuff. We'll see you Friday night. Look forward to that. Let's hear from your opponent now. On the other side of the break, we'll talk to Mark Williams.
Mark did really well to get yourself back into that game early doors, but just faded somewhat towards the end.
I was just poor from the start. I think I had a few chances. Conditions was really tough. It was hard to screw back, and it was coming off the cushions a lot faster than going on. But yeah, just not good enough.
Yeah, hard to adapt to the conditions. But the next time we are going to see you, of course, at the Tour Championship, starting the defence of your title. How much are you relishing that opportunity?
Not at all, really, because I know I'm going to play like that. There's nothing I can do, but it's frustrated. I got a bit frustrated with myself towards the end because I'm not playing too bad, to be honest. But the way things have happened in the last few months, I just struggling to pick any potted angles out of anything. And that's not why I lost, but he was a better player. But it's a tough game as it is. But when you're struggling to see the angles like you used to, then the only one way for me, I think, is down.
Yeah, it's obviously hugely concerning for yourself. Is it now just about getting to the end of the season and then reassessing things?
Possibly. I think I might go home and try contacts again just to see for a few days to see if that's any different. Just have to take it by its age, innit? You know, I'm 50 in a couple of days. Just gotta, what can you do? Can't do nothing about it.
You've mentioned it, turning it into a positive, celebrating your 50th birthday on Friday, of course. How will you be celebrating? I'm guessing you won't be hitting the practice tables ahead of Manchester.
No, there's no point. What's the point hitting the practice table if you can't see what you're doing? I just gotta, I don't know, try something, enjoy my birthday, forget about it, and turn up. I think I played ding. He got a chance to get his own back on me.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Pembroke Happis.
What does that mean?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, we won't see him on Friday on his birthday, but we will wish him all the very best. It's disappointing to hear him say that about his eyesight. As he said, though, he's always very good in defeat. He says, he was beaten by the better player tonight, and Kyren did play well. Yeah. And he did have his chances, Mark, but he is going to have to do something about the problems he's obviously now experiencing with his eyesight.
Yeah, he wasn't himself tonight at all. Now, normally, you would take a lot of things that he would say, and we have done over the years, with a pinch of salt, but he's obviously struggling out there, with his eyesight. You see there, shaking his head, like blinking quite a lot, with the lights and stuff, and quite open about it as well. So he's, it's a concern and certainly a worry for him, I'm sure.
Listen, it's something that a lot of people watching, a lot of snooker fans watching, will completely identify with, and it's just something that you have to cope with and deal with. Yes. It's part of the ageing process, and some people have had problems with their eyesight from birth. It's just, it's part of, we've seen players play with glasses, the contact lenses. It's just one of these things now, isn't it?
He's suffering now, but he's got a long, hot summer to deal with it, and he will deal with it in the best way. He'll go away, reassess. Let's hope he has a good tour next week and at Sheffield, but he'll deal with it, and better days will be ahead, because when he fixes it, he'll come back, he'll be able to see what he wants to see, so he'll be fine.
Maybe the stars weren't aligned for him, because he beat Ding Junhui in the first round, and that is now
the curse.
18 events over 2 seasons. Whoever has defeated Ding Junhui has lost in their next match.
Okay.
I mean, what can you say about that?
But blame David Hendon, because it was him that came up with it.
I know. Listen, very quick word on tomorrow afternoon. Neil Robertson, Mark Selby.
It's going to be a cracker. Really looking forward to it. And it's going to be very, very close. Both players in great form.
Played each other so many times, these two.
Yeah, that is a blockbusting match. I agree with Ken. I'm going to side at the moment with Mark Selby. He's been the best so far this tournament.
Great stuff. And of course, tomorrow night we've got Judd Trump against Sean Murphy. I mean, it is wall-to-wall quality here in Telford. That's what you get when you bring the best in the business into a championship. The Players' Championship, we're into our next quarter-final tomorrow afternoon. We've got Mark Selby up against Neil Robertson. As I mentioned, don't forget, Judd Trump and Sean Murphy are with us tomorrow night. We're back here at 12:45 on ITV4. I hope you can join us then. Thank you for your company, fellas. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.